What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, coming at you from the Loves in Ozark, Alabama, delivering tomorrow at 17:30 at the Walmart in Brundage, Alabama. I decided to drive about 25 miles past my delivery point since I'm on 33 as far as the temperature goes, fuel hog, continuous, and there's really no fuel place in the area, and I didn't want to just stop at a random place and pay for fuel cash, especially if I'm gonna need to take a shower tomorrow morning potentially. So I figured, you know what, let me just add 60 miles to my trip and stop here. Now I'm gonna talk about something that has really kind of been pissing me off a little bit lately. It's something that I've been thinking about for a long time, but now's, I had a chance to talk to the people that were involved in this today. And to be honest with you, I hadn't talked to them for about the last month because I really felt so bad about it that I didn't even want to talk to them about it. And this is a cautionary tale for those of you guys out there. So the cautionary tale is this: shut this shit down at the beginning of anything that could happen. If you even think that the wind is slightly too much or the weather conditions are not good to any degree, shut that shit down, okay? I talked to this particular couple, and the reason I'm so passionate about this is, oftentimes I'll mention that I talk to all these drivers that have been at Prime for 10, 20, 25, 30 years and stuff like that. Well, this was the first couple that had spoke to me. Well, the first long-term couple that had spoke to me at Prime that said that they'd watch my channel on YouTube. And I'm like, well, why are you watching me? I mean, really, you've been driving for 30-something years. You've been at Prime for all these years. Why are you even watching me? Well, they're the first ones. And they kind of introduced me just through our conversation because other people walked up and spoke to them. And I got to build kind of this network that kind of, the epicenter was around this couple. Well, about a month ago, I get a text. And the text said, hey, Lyle, me and Ray just rolled over in Wyoming, and, this is the situation. So I really didn't, I thought about it, but I wasn't sure what the outcome was going to be, but I didn't think the outcome was going to be what the outcome was. People could say whatever they want to say, if, why are you driving in bad conditions? It could, obviously this was a gust of wind, but, you could say whatever you wanted to say. My problem with this entire situation wasn't that they blew over. It could have been their fault, whatever. It was the fact that the ruling by Prime was so fast that it really made me question my existence at Prime. And what I mean by that is this. If I'm going to be out here repping Prime to the fullest, and even after this, don't get me wrong, I'm still about Prime, I'm still about the ink, I'm still about all that. But my thing is, doesn't longevity mean anything at some point? There should be a difference between somebody that rolls a truck at 30 years and somebody that rolls a truck in 6 months. And the thing that I think hurts me about the situation is, first of all, I'm still all about Prime, but I think that there's been kind of a shift in culture. I've been saying this for a long time, and one of the things I'm going to say about this is that I thought that it kind of has changed to how am I going to say this? I feel like Prime at this point right now, especially after watching what happened to these people, because they basically got let go 3 days after this happened. Now, there were a couple rollovers that had happened in this time in the same area, due to wind. So it wasn't like, and I know other people that have rolled trucks and were fine. And I think the difference might have been there was a police officer on site for these other ones. I don't know the difference. But my thing is this. Longevity or loyalty or something should, in my mind, should mean something. So if I'm with a company, and forget Prime in this situation, it could be any company. At some point, a person that makes a mistake after 15 years and somebody makes a mistake after a year, those aren't equal mistakes. There's some loyalty that needs to be factored into that. And I just spoke to these people, and I think that the thing that hurts me about the situation is that, and I'd mentioned this earlier, before this truck even rolled, that I thought that things were changing a little bit and I was going to worry more about myself at this point. This kind of solidified it. But it's almost like the 51st date syndrome. It's like, no matter what these guys did that have been in Prime all these years, it was like they woke up the next morning and they were looked at just like a brand new, team or, driver or whatever it was. It wasn't like there was any, thought put into, what, these guys have been with Prime for, 13, 15, or how many years it was. Maybe this isn't the same thing as somebody that rolls a truck that's been here for a year and a half, or whatever it was. We're talking about impeccable service record, all that kind of stuff. And really what it does, and it's kind of the thing that I was saying about the culture of Prime and the chipping away at it, and I'm still about Prime, do not get me wrong, just makes you look at things a little different, is that what's the benefit of being with a company longer if there's no difference in pay, no difference in anything, and there's no difference in the ramifications that happen if you do anything? And I'm on the phone talking to this couple, and I'm not going to sit here and cry during this video. She cried when she was talking to me with her husband in the background, and there's nothing worse as a man to have your wife crying about some stuff that happened. That's the worst. So I'm sitting here to listen to her tell me the story, how she feels about it, and she's crying. Her husband's in the background, and who was the one that actually rolled the truck. But it's I know I'm going around and around, and I really don't know if I'm even going to be able to make this a cohesive video or have it make any sense. But the one thing that I am stressing about this video is that sometimes the thing that hurts the most is when you find out that Santa Claus isn't real or whatever. It doesn't necessarily change things. It just makes you realize, okay, this is the deal. So when I say Santa Claus isn't real, it's like, okay, Prime is what it is. It's not going to really change things functionally. I still make, well, not because of Prime, but I'm still doing well at Prime outside of truck issues, all that kind of stuff. I'm still gonna make the money I was making at Prime, all that kind of stuff. But the Santa Claus effect, meaning that it's this whole like thing where the company comes before anything, or your thoughts on things are, basically where you're just going to hold them down regardless. That kind of is where the fracturing point is. And it's not just this particular situation. It kind of happened a little bit before that when I had done videos on, it's not necessarily what Prime is saying, is how they say it. Well, this is kind of one of those instances, and it really, I'm putting this out because I think there's a lot of people that push things, whether it's driving in bad weather, I don't understand driving sleepy, because I just don't get sleepy driving solo. But you know, you could be teaming, driving sleepy. It could be whatever the reason is. If you feel uncomfortable about any situation, pull that shit over. I don't care if it's a, you know, OTIF load, or, you know, I don't care if they say if this load gets there, you know, people are gonna starve, whatever it is. You gotta just shut that shit down, because it has been proven that if you make a mistake, you're gonna be held accountable for it. And you, whether you're at Prime for a month or 13, 15, 20, 25 years, are going to be held to the same standards. And I think that has been what I've been struggling with in this situation for a long time, because I didn't speak to these people for a while, and I didn't because I wanted them to get over what they needed to get over. And to be honest with you, I wasn't sure that I could handle this when it first came out, because like I said, I could say that I was loyal to Prime. At this point, I'm going to say that I'm invested in Prime. And there's a big difference between those two statements. I mean, I'm loyal to the people that directly affect me. Loyal to my logs advisor, loyal to my payroll advisor, loyal to my fleet manager, loyal to everybody that I build my life around at Prime, which would include them or any other drivers that are with Prime that I'm affected by to some degree. But there's a difference between that and being invested. Being loyal means I might do, you know, I'm going to go above and beyond, things like that, to do things that are necessary to get a load done. And that doesn't mean doing anything illegal, anything like that. Invested means I'm going to be basically I'm going to look out for me. So invested means I might look at things and be like, you know what? And I don't think I'll do this because I've never looked at money for the loads or anything like that, but it's going to be more of a situation where I'm looking more at what's happening to me than what's the entire outcome on the company. And that's a hard thing to swallow. It's really been weighing on my mind for a month, seeing how things are going to wash out with the situation that these people had gone through. And when I say the Santa Claus syndrome, it's sort of like I was sitting there like, this is not going to go down like this. And it didn't take a month for this to happen. It happened fairly quickly, but I was like, it's not going to go down like this. I mean, they've been here too long. This isn't going to happen, you know, whatever. And then when it happened, I was like, well, Santa Claus isn't real. And I just want you guys to know that, and I've said it before in videos, I wasn't as adamant about it. I've said it before. If you're driving around and something happens, the blame is going to be tried to put on you, and you need to shut down. You need to look at yourself above everything out here, because if things go wrong, it's going to be put on you. Now, I'm not saying that that's not the right way that things need to be put. I'm just saying that you need to realize that that's what the situation is. You need to realize that if you roll a truck, the first instinct isn't going to be, hey, this driver's been with us for 15, 20, 25, 30 years. It's going to be, this driver rolled a truck. It doesn't matter if they've been here a day, a week, or 4 months. The same outcome is going to happen. So watch your back out there. Do what you got to do. Not saying Prime's a bad company, But Prime is a company, and all these companies, they're kind of the same way, but they're going to be looking out for their best interests first. That doesn't mean that, like I said, I'm not going to do what I need to do within the confinements of Prime. I just need to it's like this. I'm willing to play ball as long as I know what the rules are within the structure of this. And if I know what the rules are, I can play within whatever situation it is that you got out there. Now, I thought I was playing a different game, so now we just tighten it up a little bit and kind of go a different direction, but it's not going to change the profitability of loads or anything like that. It's not going to change the loads I take or don't, well, to any markable degree. But just understand where you're at. Prime is still a great company. There's a lot of people out there that have been talking shit about Prime for years and years and years. I can think of one driver right now. He's been at all these different companies, and his dream was to own a truck and all this kind of stuff. And he's been driving for 4 times the amount I have, and in 5 weeks I'm going to accomplish more than he's done in 3 decades. But he's critical of Prime. So, not an indictment on Prime. It's an indictment on the way you're going to have to view things. So, I didn't want to get too specific about this. Hopefully that was enough for you to understand where I'm kind of coming from and what my thoughts were on it. But I guess in short, if I'm going to summarize this a little bit and what my feelings are on it, is that I've always been a loyalty kind of guy. It was like this. And I'm just going to have to go back to my old business. If one person did this in my old business and they fucked up a loan or something like that and cost the company $3,000 or $5,000, $10,000, whatever that amount is, and they've been with the company for 10, 15 years, that's going to be less of a hit than somebody that's been at the company for a year and even just fucked up a loan by costing the company $3,000 or $4,000. You get something for being there that long. It's just not like the guy that fucked up that's been with the company for 20, 25 years is treated the same as somebody that's been at the company for a year or less. So just understand in certain situations you're going to be treated as if you're just that person that came to the company a week ago, which is fine. As long as you know the rules of the game, you can play it to the best. I appreciate you stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. As always, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.